Since 5 tri-state housing advocates are on a mission tonight to make the American dream of home ownership a reality.
They turned out to an annual Hannibal conference to address housing shortages in rural areas. WGEM's Claire Edlin shows you some of their accomplishments during the past 20 years.
Daniel and Raja, the Tri-State Housing Summit recognized a milestone year of 20 years since the event started. Local and federal leaders spoke, and former clients shared their stories.
First of all, I thank everybody that's helped me through this journey.
In August of 2023, Rawls County resident James Ruby's life changed forever.
I was getting ready for work and I had a stroke.
Ruby went from a lifetime career in construction and manufacturing to being bound in a wheelchair in moments.
I've worked my whole life and it's very hard to ask for help because I never had to ask anybody for help ever.
Ruby says when his money ran out, he didn't know how he was going to take care of his family. But when he took that first step to reach out to a local social services and housing nonprofit, NECAC, he had no regrets.
Heck, people help like you wouldn't believe. I just don't understand it, but they do help.
Ruby shared his story today at the Tri-State Housing Summit, an annual conference that brings housing advocates, politicians, and clients like Ruby together to brainstorm ideas to improve housing in the tri-state communities.
We just had the Quincy Human Rights Commission. We had the city of Kirksville talking about an innovative small homes program they're doing.
NECAC's deputy director, Carla Potts, who is also a key component behind the Housing Summit, says today marks the 20th year for the conference.
20 years of success. Where do we go from here? Because the work is not done.
Potts and other advocates agree that their successes come from housing development and rehabilitation, but also analyzed areas of improvement and possible solutions.
We talked this morning to the HUD Regional Administrator about housing counseling and helping people become successful homeowners.
The summit is a way to bridge the communication between housing leaders on a local, state, and federal level.
Is that it brings together folks that are curious and looking for new housing solutions for their communities, no matter what size of community.
NECAC was recognized today for the nearly 900 homeowners it has helped in that time frame and nearly 1,300 rental housing units they have developed. Raja.
All right, thank you, Claire. Now, other speakers today included representatives from the Quincy Human Rights Commission.